Hi.
Hi, Val.
Hello. Hi, everybody. How are you, Terry?
Hi.
I'm fine. How is everybody?
Good, I
It's
guess.
snowing.
I know.
Hola. Hola.
Hola.
I'm over the snow.
I'm with
I
you,
love
sister.
snow. I like a good storm.
Yeah, well, not when my hubby has to plow.
Oh,
Yeah, that stinks.
I still think somebody should have shot that groundhog.
and who knows what would happen.
I think the people in Texas wish they'd shot it also.
I know they're in trouble.
Wow, what's going on in Texas?
They have snow.
Oh,
Power outage, massive
whole
power
state.
outage.
The whole state's shut down. They have no heat, no power, no nothing.
No water. It's a mess.
Houston is totally shut down. I just talked to Mike Burns. He's going to New
you
Orleans.
did? Oh,
He's going to New Orleans to get out.
oh.
I saw BBC headlines where they said people in Texas are being told to boil their water.
Yeah.
How do they
They're
boil the
boiling
water if
snow.
they have no power?
Because
And
they're
they have
boiling
no
the snow.
water.
They're getting the snow and the ice from outside and they're boiling it that way. They got little, Coleman stoves and stuff, but no heat.
It's not efficient. They need everything back on. It was just like, and I don't remember that many houses in Texas having fireplaces and wood stoves and such to compensate. Maybe up in the panhandle, but Kathy, is there anyone we're not expecting today?
Not that I'm aware of. John called me this morning and I called him back twice. He sounded tired. So hopefully he's going to make it. Ooh. Burn. We definitely have a hard stop at 2:30 today because Board of Health is at 3.
Yeah, I know.
Oh yeah, you know.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Ray.
So it's 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock right now. We have an hour and a half. And we do have a quorum. Quorum being myself, Diane, and Val. So we should probably just get it rolling. How does that sound? Sound good?
Stand by.
Sounds good.
Okay, thank you, Val.
We're not recording yet.
Okay,
NCTV?
as soon as we are, I'm going to get going.
We are recording.
Okay, thanks. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the most watched show on television. This is Ray Pohl, Chairman of the Nantucket Historic District Commission. I will confirm that we have a few members with us at the moment, enough to constitute a quorum, and I will call your names and hopefully you will respond in the affirmative. Diane Coombs. Let's try Val Oliver. I know she's there.
Here, aye.
Oh, and Stephen just joined us. Stephen Welch, are you there?
Hola.
All right, great. Thank you. And Diane, have you unmuted yet?
She is here because I did see her.
I know, yeah.
Maybe she
Okay.
bumped out.
Yeah, it looks like she did.
Well, fortunately, Stephen joined us, so we still have a quorum. All right, so at the moment, folks, we have Val Oliver, Stephen Welch, and myself, Ray Pohl. Diane will be joining us shortly, as in addition to a few other people, I hope. Staff, when I call your names, could you please respond in the affirmative? Kathy Flynn.
Present.
And the incomparable Holly Backus.
Present, thank you.
All right, fantastic. So here we go, folks, with the little missive that I got from my buddy up in Boston. This open meeting of the Nantucket Historic District Commission is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12, 2020. That order, posted with agenda materials for this meeting, allows public bodies to convene remotely so long as public access to deliberations is reasonably provided. This meeting is convening via Zoom with video and audio recording, and we are being broadcast via YouTube on the town's YouTube channel. With no member of the public having asked to speak at this time, this particular meeting will not feature public comment. Materials provided to the members of the board for this meeting or provided during the meeting are, unless otherwise noted, available on our town's website. During the meeting, I will introduce agenda topics and speakers, and everyone please remember to mute your Zoom audio until your name is called. And please direct comments and questions through the chair to avoid crosstalk and make taking of minutes easier. Finally, votes taken at today's meeting will be conducted via roll call. That's it for the boilerplate. Do we have Diane yet?
No.
No. Okay, well, we'll see how far we can get in this without getting into trouble with quorums. Okay, so could I have a motion from one of you two other members to approve today's agenda?
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Val. On the motion, Stephen Welch.
Aye.
Thank you, Val Oliver.
Aye.
And Ray Pohl is in favor. That motion carries. We do have one consent item added to our list. Hoping that no one needs to recuse from this. If not, we can motion for an approval on that.
So moved.
Thank you, Stephen. On Stephen's motion, Val.
Aye.
Stephen.
Aye.
And I'm in favor. Motion carries. Now, here's where the rubber hits the road. Has anyone else, any other commissioner joined us yet?
Abby texted me she's trying, but she can't get on.
Interesting. Okay, so let me ask a question, because we're now on to these few remaining old business items. The first of which is 51 Pleasant Road. Is that really Pleasant Road or Pleasant Street?
It's a typo. It should be Pleasant Street.
Okay, Pleasant Street. And now my recollection is that Mark Lombardi we haven't had representation on this for a while. Is that still true?
It's me.
Is that you, Linda?
Yeah.
Linda's on, and this is Nancy, I'm on as well.
Hi, guys.
Double team.
Hey, guys.
Hello.
It's snowing.
It is.
Yes, it's snowing here in Eastford, Connecticut, too.
That's why people can't get on Zoom.
Oh, it's that groundhog that did it. The
All right.
groundhog did it.
Can't
Wow.
get to the meeting.
So, Kathy, Holly, please keep me apprised of anyone that's entering the meeting. Any
Yes. we will.
board member that's entering the meeting. So the question that I would have for you, Linda, is you basically have a 3-person board right now. You have myself, you have Stephen as an alternate, and you have Val.
Val.
So
Wow.
do you want to hold this for more people, or do you feel confident moving forward with that board?
Did everybody get to view this? Val and Steve?
Yeah,
Oliver is recused, by the way.
Oh, Val had to recuse.
Oh, that's interesting because she's down as a commissioner.
Yeah, and then
also
after that, it says recused.
Okay.
so motion to hold for more
Actually,
members
I'm
because there's
gonna
no,
cut- I'm gonna
I
cut you
think,
off.
can
oh,
we
we
go
can't even
back?
bring a motion.
You can't.
Hold on a quick second.
Yes, Terry.
Al made the motion to view the last time it was seen. So I don't know why.
That
It
must
says
be
she-
maybe a mistake, yeah.
It could be a typo.
Because I thought you were on it in the minutes. I don't think, if I remember, don't have you as recused, and you made the motion.
No, the minutes, well, the agenda has her as recused.
Yeah, but the minutes from the last hearing
Hang on.
do not.
Okay, so Val,
Yes,
are you recused?
I don't think so.
Okay, so there's no reason
Good.
that you need to be recused, like you're not,
Yeah, no.
okay.
And I didn't make a motion.
And that's right, you didn't make a motion. Now, so just to be clear moving forward on this, it sounds like Val does not need to be recused.
Okay.
So we have
Good.
just approved an agenda that actually it has her on as 2 things. 1 as a sitting board member and 2 as a recused board member. But it
Right.
sounds like she doesn't have a conflict, so she could be on this. But this gets back to the first question. Now we have a quorum, and do we want to move forward with Stephen, Val, and Ray? That's
Well, the question is, Ray, and it's always come up before when we were down to 3 members for whatever reason, as to whether you can pass something 2 to 1, or does it have to be all 3?
I am
No, it's a simple majority.
Okay.
Hear me? Do you hear me? I'm here.
Oh, Diane's with us. Okay,
she
very good.
is.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Thanks, Diane.
Okay, let's go then.
Wait, ironically, Diane is not on.
Not
On
on
it.
it.
Uh,
Okay, then.
This is too much.
Are we
Okay.
back to the original question again?
Yes, and-
Mr.
and-
Chair,
We're back.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Kathy.
can you see my screen? Because I'm sharing the
Yes.
screen.
Yes.
Okay, so that's the last meeting it was at, motion to view. So it looks like it was just it was a typo. on the
Okay, so Val is definitely on it.
Right on.
Yeah,
Yeah, and we also have Stephen on as an alternate, which is great. Okay,
Yes.
so,
okay.
and now I want to
Back to that
confirm
question.
something that you said, Linda. Simple majority. So if 3 people are voting, which is a quorum, and you have 2 votes in favor of that motion will carry.
Okay, because there was a question about that over time.
No.
Well,
Well, let's accept this one.
Cool.
um,
All right, then let's roll.
so you're good with it? 3-person. board. Okay.
Well,
let's
it's a
go.
4, it's, let's see, you.
Abby's here, Mr. Chair.
Oh my gosh, this is more and more complicated each passing minute. Okay, so
Okay.
for the record, everyone, Abby Camp has joined and she is a sitting member.
Yay,
So now you're up to a 4-person board, which is
Okay.
the quorum.
which is you, Abby, Val, and Steve.
Correct.
Correct.
And
All right.
don't hold out
Let's
for
move-
John because he
No.
just called me. He can't get in.
Okay, let's move forward, but we're going to spend the whole hour and a half on the first application. Let's go.
Yes.
Okay. This is a driveway. Everybody remember Rabimbuses? It's the house to the left of
Rabimbus?
that. That might be too old for you. It's
It was a corner
Marion
market.
Perry.
it's the White House basically that's in between to the left of Rabimbuses, right off of 5 Corners. If you go down to the picture, you can't miss it.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, I remember reviewing this.
It was Madeline Perry's house, for those of you there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
totally.
Yeah, and so because the property was subdivided and the other piece to the right where the driveway used to be was sold with the driveway, we don't have a driveway. And obviously there's nowhere to park in that strip of Pleasant Street. There's no parking allowed. So what they did is they went to the DPW and they got this is over a year ago, actually, even longer than that. They went and got a curb cut approval, and whoever cut it in didn't realize that they needed HDC approval as well because it didn't involve quote unquote a structure. So now if you go down further, you'll see where the driveway cut is to the left of the house. Next picture.
Well, Linda, this is the actual violation that I sent out, but let me just go grab the other
Yeah,
one.
but the driveway is the violation as well. This is not the driveway. You got to go to another picture, which is below this. Keep going. Keep going.
Can I, Mr. Chair, ask Linda, not to interrupt but
There it is.
did anyone not view it?
No, I did.
I view this every day.
You go
I
by
view
every
it
day.
every
So, I
day.
mean, we all have seen it.
So there's
So-
the driveway. You know where it's going. We're gonna obviously have to do something with the angle there to get up to the driveway. So
Right.
that's where we want to put the driveway.
Yeah.
Not a big whoop here, but it's a driveway.
Linda, you said something earlier. You said that curb cuts are not approved on Pleasant Street. What did you mean by that?
Backing out. But there is a turnaround plan for once you get inside the driveway. You'll see it on the plan, on Mark Lombardi's plan.
Because they did approve a curb cut. We didn't, but.
I know the HDBW did approve the curb cut, but they don't get involved with the zoning part of it or the HDC part of it. But this was, I'll tell you how long ago this was. This was before the agreement between the HDC and the DPW that all curb cuts have to go to the HDC first.
Mhm.
This is what prompted that. So there was
Excuse me,
no
this-
rule about that at the time, but they didn't go back to the HDC to get the curb cut after they got the DPW to approve it. So now you have to go to HDC first before you can get a DPW curb cut. But this was what was the catalyst.
Right, right.
cause that to
Okay,
happen.
so what we need to know, and I think you already described this last time, is see how the ramshackle sidewalk is just sort of running along. You're going to
Yeah.
need to drop that down, aren't you?
We can only drop it so far. We have to
Right.
keep relatively level because of handicap access.
Correct.
So there's going to be
So-
some gradient coming up and then maybe some sort of a small slope, but that they have to work out through the town because it's not on our property.
Yeah, and there's rules about that, but I think maybe that's going beyond our purview.
Yeah.
So
So we
let's
got to work
like-
that out.
let's see the site plan.
Yeah, there it is.
By the way, Holly, is there HSAB on this one?
Yes, Mr. Chair. So HSAB did take a look at this on January 25th, and they would like to see the sidewalk and the interior apron changed to brick, not asphalt.
Here's the, and Holly and
And
I are
I-
working with another property like this. This is tough because the DPW is refusing us to allow us to brick the sidewalk in front of 14 Pleasant when every other sidewalk is bricked from Five Corners to Main Street because they don't want to mess with, they don't want us to take up the macadam and
Can I say something here?
they're going to have a problem with this.
Hey, everybody, the sidewalk is actually on town property,
It is.
you know, so, and
That's
it's
a
all the
separate
rest of it is asphalt.
Yeah. And then that's a separate battle.
Okay,
But
so that was HSAB, right, Holly? That was HSAB. Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, so Shell Drive on the inside, that's
Mm-hmm.
circumscribed by the green, that's Shell. And it looks like we segue to asphalt, and then the apron is, asphalt, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
And part of this, Ray, just so you know, see the
Mm.
yellow parts? We're
yes,
rebuilding the retaining wall, which is just
falling apart.
falling apart
Yeah.
and putting stone on the front steps. Because that's all falling apart.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Linda. All right, folks, so we do have Abby on this. Hello, Abby, Val, Stephen, and myself.
You want me
So
to give it a go?
give it a go, please.
Okay, well, I think there's another problem is in that the turnaround there on the left might be right on the property line, and I don't know if that's kosher.
It's legal.
It's allowed under zoning.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, just bringing that up. I think the shell, because of the way it's going to flow right out into the street, I don't think it's the right material.
But it actually is not. It's turning to asphalt at the driveway. It's only the green part, Abby.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, is the green part in weather like this is going to end up on the street and make more of a mess. That's a lot of shell. Am I right? The green part is shell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but
Shell Drive. So that's what I'm
So-
saying. I'm saying that,
That means wherever there's shell, you can never have it adjacent to anything because shell will always bleed off into whatever is adjacent to it. So we can
Well,
never
that's-
have shell drives.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, I think
Well,
it's the
that's what
wrong
you're
material.
saying, but I'm not sure that I agree that okay, go ahead.
Okay, but, all right. The other things I'm fine with, redoing the steps and the retaining wall, I'm fine with.
Okay, thank you. Let's see, Val.
I think as long as it's consistent with what's on the street, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Meaning the asphalt, the shell, both,
Yeah,
everything.
there's shell everywhere up there.
Can you just be clear on what you mean by?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have an opinion on whether it comes out on the street. I think that's a good point Abby brought up, but that's something they have to kind of sort out. So what's the driveway, Linda, to the right? I can't
It
remember.
was shell, but Nancy may know that better than I am.
Yeah, it is shell.
Yeah, and they've got an asphalt apron also. We could make the piece on the driveway side deeper. Is that going to make everybody happy if that asphalt is deeper?
You mean bring it further into where the parking is?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
it would
bring it further up.
help with Abby's concern.
Okay.
More room.
Add another 5 feet to that and bring it up a little bit further.
Hey,
Okay.
guys, there's a couple
Um,
more people on this.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
no. Really?
sorry.
Who?
Well, I just.
Oh,
I'm
you mean you?
here. Yeah. It just seems like we're going a lot of back and forth and not getting everybody's feedback.
Right. Go ahead, Stephen. Go.
I'm good with it, subject to us not getting hung out with DPW or the town.
Right. So it sounds like if we just increase the apron there, or the sidewalk, whatever you want to call that piece, by 5 feet, that would assuage Abby's concern about the shell bleeding into the walkway, the
Cool.
sidewalk. So can we?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
sorry, Elizabeth O'Rourke would like to say something. She's on the call. She had submitted something this morning to me. It's
Okay.
on your screen right now.
Okay. This is frustrating. We're
It
20,
is, it's only one
20
application.
minutes, 20 minutes into the meeting. It's an hour and a half, and more people want to speak. Go ahead, Elizabeth.
Hi, I sent in a letter yesterday and I submitted it to be part of the record. So I'm in a butter to this property. We're 53 Pleasant Street, so we share the property line with 51. And I think this should contribute to the overall attractiveness of the town. It's a highly visible site. Where they're showing the turnaround, it leaves no room for any screening on their property or for retaining because the line goes all the way, basically crosses over to my property. The hedge that's illustrated is not there currently. It's located on 51. So I don't want this project to become my project.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of grade issues and there is no topography on this plan at all. So I think you need a professional survey, existing grade at the street, existing grade, up on the property and really what's being retained where. I think this is too schematic.
Okay.
Thank you.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Hello, this is Nancy. May I mention that Mark did do a schematic of the incline and what he was expecting to have the grade be?
It's in the next picture down, I believe.
Hold on.
It's a 10-inch grade
There you go.
incline that's going to be, which is very gradual. It comes in front of the residence all the way down. He assured me that it was.
Go down to the next one.
This is an artistic rendering of something.
There you go.
Okay.
That just looks like more than 10 inches to me
Yeah,
in the picture.
Yes. Grade differential.
Yeah, and I mean, I wasn't being flippant earlier about my comment, not getting hung out to dry with the other town entities, because my concern is that the grade is going to be a difficulty, and we're not here to engineer that solution, but the aesthetics of it. And the 10 inches I think, is an ambitious number on the liberal side.
Mhm.
But having said that, again, the aesthetics are the materials, and I personally am okay with it. I do take into consideration Elizabeth O'Rourke's comments, and I think, we just need to make sure that this is a separate project and that the applicant's agents need to address that there's sufficient room for screening between the projects as shown on the landscape plan they provided.
Okay, well, to that point, Elizabeth said basically the vegetation is on this property now, but the plan, in order to do the turnaround, is showing it migrating over to Elizabeth's property.
I understand now. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Now it's if you look at the site plan, it's all of the screening is on Elizabeth's property. See?
yeah.
I believe that is a rendering not of what we're proposing, but what I believe he thought was on her property.
Elizabeth, if I understood you correctly, the screening is either on the line or it's on their property.
That's right. The hedge, there's currently a 12-foot hedge and it's all on 51 side.
All on.
So if that goes in, there is nothing there, it becomes my project.
Right.
Look, maybe we should hold for some more exact information of.
Yeah, and
where-
some consideration about the screening. I would be in favor of that one.
Yeah, I mean, this is a highly traveled area. As we all know, it can get backed up, people moving in and out. We want to get this right.
Okay.
Whatever screening is on the roadside, it can't be higher than 3 feet. So if there's parking, they have to have low vegetation. So I would assume that hedge, if it's on our property, which doesn't look like it from his rendering, cannot run all the way to the street. It's not legal to have it that way. So
I think you made the motion, Abby, to get more technical information and more exact information, because.
Sorry, was that a motion?
what
that-
do you want exactly though, Mr. Chairman? What are we doing?
You're getting topography, right? You're making sure that the slope is going to be adequate for DPW, which I'm not sure it will. And we want to see a better proposal for screening between this parking space and the neighbor.
Okay, I'm just questioning the jurisdiction of any of us to do that, but from a neighbor as opposed to from the street.
Okay, I would argue, my God, half an hour. On,
Yep.
on one.
On an application that should have more. Yeah.
It's got the whole schematic there, but I'll do what I can with it, but otherwise I don't know what to give you. The DPW has signed off on it.
Well, we'd like to see that, so some kind of
That
document.
is part of the file there.
It's in the file, down somewhere.
It's in the file. And the date of the issuance of that permit from the DPW was September 23rd, 2019.
Okay, because it's not in this packet, so
It's somewhere in there.
not.
Okay, we need to move.
We
it.
received it late last week or sometime.
So Ray,
we do have it.
I know you don't want to rush this, but I think it's important we get it right, because I have another question. Like, I just want to know what is on the left there. What are those 8 sort of bushes with dots? I can't read it. Because if they're hydrangeas, I mean, I'm serious, Ray. It could
No.
be, I don't know what it
Okay,
is.
I'm getting word from town council about our ability to tell whether it's blue hydrangeas or white hydrangeas. I mean, we're getting way too granular.
It's not that. It's pulling in and out of there, and I don't know the height of what it is. I don't, it's
Not allowed to be any more than 30 inches high by town.
By town, I just
Well,
mentioned.
could I
that.
just ask Linda what that is? What vegetation
It's a
that is?
flowering, some sort of flowering shrub. What's up and down that street now are hydrangeas. So I don't know what he's got planned there, but it's really not material to this. He's just showing it. And it has to be low, which is what I just said, because you can't have it high legally.
Motion to hold for more information and the confirmation from the DPW.
Thank you, Val.
Well, Holly just said she has it, but that's beside.
If you stand by, I can get it. Sorry.
I don't care. We don't want to see it right now. We need more information with topography.
Thank you, Val. Okay, so Val's motion is to hold for more information. On that motion,
I.
no, Abby,
Aye.
Stephen,
I'm an aye. I'm lighting the lavender to waft around in the background.
okay, all right, Val, on your motion.
Change it up. Go to
Val,
tie
on your
dye.
motion.
Aye.
No, I'm in favor of motion carries. Okay, we got rid of the first item within a half an hour.
Woo-hoo.
Okay, 7 Starbuck Court.
Can I pipe in and let you know I'm here, Ray? I'm sorry I was late.
Oh,
It's
great.
Carrie,
That was Carrie for the record, folks.
in case you need.
Thanks, Carrie.
Thank you.
Mark, go.
Sorry, this is Doug Mills here.
Oh, hey, Doug, sorry.
Hi. So just to refresh everyone's memory, so this is 7 Starbuck Court. The original intent of the project was to do a very light renovation to this structure. And sort of in process, there was a little bit of excavation work that was being done to try to waterproof the foundation a bit. And so the contractor gave us a call, and we had John Stover take a look at things. And in his opinion, the foundation needs to be replaced. So that's why we're here in the first place. In terms of what we're proposing, we are looking to do a concrete foundation with a brick veneer. We had a mason do a sample that we weren't super thrilled with, but you know, we were looking for a more consistent color and a more orangey color, and we also wanted tighter mortar joints. So that's why we submitted the brick sample done by the mason, but the next picture down shows a picture from the Moore's End house at 19 Pleasant, which is just around the corner from this property. So that's kind of shows what we're looking for. And then the type of bricks that we want to use is the next slide down. And those are just your basic S&H red water struck brick. And again, the sample that they have on their website, it's a low res picture. I apologize for that. But we also did want to continue with the 1/4 inch mortar joints as opposed to these 3/8 that they're showing here.
Right, and with that lime mortar.
Correct.
I was just gonna say that.
Yep.
Which, you know, on an older building like this, it's really important.
Right. So we're really just trying to get the proper look for the period of the building, you know, being early 1800s. So we're just trying to make that all consistent. You know, as you go around that building today, you know, there's bricks that might be original. There's bricks from the late 1800s. There's bricks from early 19th or early 20th century. There's, you know, there's a whole mishmash, and including some from the 80s on the interior that was when they rebuilt the base of the chimney. So we're really just trying to keep it consistent with the age of the building, and you know, get this building on a stable foundation that is going to keep it intact for the next 200 years.
Okay.
You know, one thing I wanted to.
No,
Sorry,
Doug,
what?
I just how old it was. What's the age of the building?
Oh,
It says before 1809 on the survey that I saw.
that seems right to me. This is an old rope walk, Diane.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, rope walk.
That's right. I like the color of the brick on photograph. They've gone now. I don't know. There's that one, 12. I think the 12 one.
So,
Right,
Diane,
that's what we're trying to recreate.
Moore's End. You know, the Moore's End wall?
Yeah, very well.
Yeah. So that's that brick.
Yep.
But the colors of that brick and the size is what we want. And are any of the bricks that you're going to be playing with, are they any of them savable, or are they all not?
I really don't think so. You know, John Stover is not really confident because he is the one that needs to sign off on this in the end. So I'm going to go on his recommendation that we don't use the existing bricks. Because again, there's so many different ages of bricks in this building at the moment. And, you know, we really want to have a solid material that's going to last, and trying to, you know, chip all the mortar off of these 200-year-old bricks and not have them split in half or just be compromised in some way, I just don't think is the right approach.
So Doug, can I interrupt for a second?
Sure.
So you showed us a sample of the brick that you said you didn't like, and frankly, I don't like it either. I think maybe the right course of action here would be to do a sample that the HDC is comfortable in, like basically signing off on. You know, with the thin mortar joints, with the type of brick that you propose to use, like that would be the safest way of moving forward on this, rather than showing us something that we don't like. Show us something that you actually plan to do.
I was trying to do that by virtue of showing the bricks that are easily available, and then just stipulating that we're going to do a 1/4-inch mortar joint as opposed to the 3/8.
I get that.
Yep.
I would like, personally, I'd like to see a sample of that, showing the lime mortar so that we can say that looks great. So anyway,
Mr. Chair,
yes. Yes.
HSAB did not take a look at this, but I did as staff. And I just wanted to, it looked like in the packet, and correct me if I'm wrong, Doug, that there's, you all are proposing options for the veneer as far as elevations go.
Well, that just goes hand in hand with the exposure of the foundation in the different areas. Out on the front, there's like a 4-inch exposure. For some reason, there's a step up in this building on the interior. So that's why on I can't see the labels on here, but the right-hand side of the east elevation steps up. So there's 4 different heights, and that's really all we were showing.
Right.
Yes, Holly.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Chair, my comments would be that the historical elevations are kept within this proposal. I do understand that there's a grade difference. This structure was constructed not to be a dwelling at first. It was the historic spermaceti candle factory built for Joseph Starbuck, who was one of the richest, actually, merchants in Massachusetts during the 1850s. I just wanted to point that out, that the brick veneer obviously isn't historically accurate, understanding the necessity behind it. So masking the look of the veneer would be best appreciated. And I do appreciate the direction it sounds like the commission is going. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. I might want to get back to you on these different elevations that you were talking about. But so let's see, Diane, did you finish what you want to say on this, or do you have more?
No, I think that the color of the brick, I just have a problem, but I don't know what anybody else does with the brick shown in 13, because it's all one color. You got an old house. Old houses look more like 12 than they do like 13. That looks like it's a brand new foundation, brand new brick, brand new everything. So that's all I would put in.
Okay.
I'd go with 12.
Okay. Thank you. So aspire to 12, Doug. Abby.
Yeah, I think your idea of getting a sample of the brick to be used is a good idea. And also the mortar is very important, the color of the mortar, that it's not dyed to sort of be like a secondary color. The one in 12 has a more, and historically it seems it's a whiter mortar. So, and of course thinner. So I think a sample of that for us to see, or you to see, to make the call is important.
Thank you. Thank you, Abby. How about you, Val?
I agree with what's been said.
Okay. Carrie, how about you?
I as well.
All right. So Doug, I think that what we want to do is get another sample. By the way, I'm pretty sure that they make new brick that is made to look old in the way that the Starbuck brick is. I'm almost positive I've seen that. So you might want to check that out. So the motion
Yeah,
is.
actually, could I, is it possible, there is a bit of a time crunch on this because I don't know if you've been by there, but there's a construction road that goes across a property on New Dollar Lane that they only have access to until, I believe it's May 15th. So if it's possible, could we have sort of a go ahead in terms of removing the existing foundation so that they can at least get footings in and start that process? And then before we do any brickwork, we would bring in that sample and get it to your satisfaction?
I think that that's okay. I mean, it's without question, the structure of this foundation is severely compromised, and something needs to be done so that the building that it's holding up does not suffer. So I think that conceptually, and any board member sitting on this, please, if you have a different point of view, I would love to hear from you. But I think that it would be safe to move forward with getting this building structurally sound on a proper concrete base that will have a brick veneer on it, brick veneer, brick type, mortar joint, mortar size, all to be determined and approved by us. But moving forward with the foundation work that's corrective in order to save the building, I think is permissible. Is everybody okay with that?
Yeah, I think we just also added that we wanted documentation of the existing, thoroughly documented.
The existing.
In what way?
Just as you have it here and labeled so that, for historic files, that this is what was there.
Okay.
Just more photos.
Yeah,
if
labeled
got 'em,
photos and
Okay.
just because it's, for the archives.
Yeah. Okay. Would somebody care to give me a motion?
I just have a question. I am so sorry.
That's okay. That's all right.
We're removing the foundation completely.
Yes.
Okay. What happens then? It's been pitched to us before that it loses its historical significance.
It already has. If given that's like a subject for a very long debate. But so see how there's all those holes punched in the foundation? It's already, it's done. It's already, that whole thing is done. It's no longer intact. But nor was it before because the brick was new. First of all, it was all rubble, and then the infill occurred with brick. So it's been touched. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, I think it's whatever. Just asking.
Yeah.
On other jobs, that's an issue.
All right. So should we have a motion on this one? Some kind?
The motion would be just to prepare the foundation for a new one, right?
Correct, with a new brick veneer, but to be approved by us.
I don't know, try it and see whether it
Actually,
passes.
can I, I'm gonna rework that motion a little bit if you don't mind. We are going to continue this, like we're not giving an approval, but we're telling Doug that it's okay. In the motion, we're telling him it's okay to move forward with the structural work that is required to hold the building up. But it's still, we're not closing the book on our ability to approve the sample of the brick that will go on the foundation. So it's
so it's like an emergency effort to keep the structure in the air.
Right. It's like the application will still be open, but we're allowing him to move forward with that aspect of the work.
Right.
Does that work for you, Doug?
I think that works.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
All right, I make that motion then.
Okay. So Abby has made a motion that is requiring Doug to give us it further real samples of the brick to be used, the mortar to be used, the mortar joints to be used, a mock-up. But we are allowing him to move forward with the substrate of that brick veneer at this time. That's Abby's motion. So on Abby's motion, Diane.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, thank you. Val.
I guess so.
Okay. Carrie.
Aye.
All right. Abby.
We also asked for documentation, that he document
Yeah,
these
so
elevations in these photographs.
Thank you. And I'm in favor of that motion. Motion carries. Okay.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Doug. We'll be in touch. Thanks.
I hate to drag this out, but that turned into a very confusing motion for the
Yeah.
minutes. Is it an approval or a hold?
It's a hold for another
That's-
sample of the brick.
That's all I need to know. So you're holding it, but allowing them to move forward with the preparation.
That's
Got it.
Yes.
Wanted to double check
Just
that.
an
Thank you very
understand.
much.
Okay, thanks. 11 Beach Street. Board,
me.
myself, Diane, Abby, Val, and we'll go Stephen this time because John's
That's-
not with us. Who's representing here?
That's me,
Oh, right. Okay.
because she's got a meeting, I believe.
Oh,
unless she
nope,
was
the
able to get out of
homeowner,
it.
both.
Oh, there
both
she is.
homeowners are here. Adam
Good.
Gilbert and Linda Delvecchio Gilbert.
Good.
Go ahead.
So this is, we presented about 2 weeks ago regarding the as-built window that was replaced by the previous contractor without HDC approval. It ended up being an SDL and it needed to be a TDL. And the door that we are asking for permission has not been replaced, but it is a 6 light currently in the house. When we purchased it in October, is a fiberglass 9 light, and we purchased a mahogany solid door with 6 light. And so I reviewed the build with Nantucket in mind. And when I purchased the door, it doesn't say anything about lights except that we cannot have a full French door on the front of our house. And so that's why we purchased the 6 light mahogany versus replacing it with a cheap 9 light fiberglass.
Which is what you have now.
Yes, that's what's
Right
currently
now,
in the house.
Fiberglass door 9 light, and you are replacing it, or have replaced, I guess.
No,
with-
we have not. We have not.
Oh, you haven't? Okay.
It's sitting in the living room.
Sitting
Okay.
in the living
But
room.
you have it, and it's the one that we see on the picture in front of us. Okay, that's good. And then, so was that the part of this that was confusing to us earlier?
Yes,
Yes.
the photo was not uploaded.
Okay, so yeah. Again, the board is myself, Diane, Abby, Val, and Stephen.
Ray, I think to add to this, I believe Sconset Advisory liked the door,
I'm
quote
sure-
unquote.
Well, given that there's a fiberglass door there now, I can see why they would.
Yes, Mr. Chair, during Sconset's review of this at first, because there was no photo included in the original application, I had emailed Linda, the owner, and she had emailed me this photo. Again, I apologize, it wasn't included in the last application review before you all, but yes, they were okay with the mahogany door as proposed. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Okay, board members, hit it.
Motion to approve is submitted.
Whoa, come on.
Yay. Whoa. Keep going,
Aye.
Val. Keep
Okay.
going.
All right, so there is a motion on the table. So now, does anyone want to discuss is there any discussion on the motion? Otherwise, I will move forward with the vote.
Yeah, I just wanted to make clear, are we talking about the windows too, or is it just the door?
Window and door.
They're part of the package. Did you want to see something about that?
So it does include the windows?
Mhm.
Yeah, because the windows, Abby, this was heard, gosh, probably a month ago. And the problem was that the builder put in these windows, which we can look at, he did it. And it was one big window before, like a picture window,
24 light.
2 double hungs instead of one big window. But I think
Divided?
there's lights in it. There's a picture there. There it is. Yep.
That's the original.
That's
No.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes, that is the
Yes.
original.
With picture window.
That's
That's
the
the
new
new.
one.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's still
it-
24 lights. It was 24 light before and now it's 24 light still.
Correct. Only
About 30 feet from the road, so it's harder to tell what it is.
Window is turned into two double hung windows. That's,
And they're TDLs.
they are SD.
SDLs.
Yes.
But it's far enough away from the road that it's kind of hard to tell because there's a shadow line in it.
I can't even tell from this photograph here, honestly.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so that's discussion on the motion. There's a motion on the table to approve this as submitted. Shall I poll the board now? Let's give it a try. On Val's motion, Stephen.
Aye.
Okay, Abby.
Aye.
Very good. Thank you. Diane.
Aye.
Okay, and Val on your motion.
Aye.
And I'm in favor, so that motion carries. Now we're along to new business.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. New business. Okay, so we have 4 regular members and 2 associate members, Stephen and Carrie. So we're going to do like a rotation.
I'm here for these two also.
Okay, so let's see. Stephen was on that last one. So Carrie, you're on these 2 because they're both.
Nutshell, just to speed it along. 2 little Glowacki sheds. They did have people living in them years ago. The property has been sold to, I believe, Cape Cod Express. And we just need to demolish them. They're not habitable.
Okay.
They were
Aid,
probably
Oh.
moved there in the first place.
Yep.
actually, those are not old. I just saw some Anderson sliders in there.
Yeah, when they put a human in
Well,
there.
they do keep touching up some of the things that are rudely
Falling off.
interrupted and don't work.
So these
But
two
if
are
you
the
look at
same.
some of the other, there's boards over the windows and things too.
And these are both this one and the next one are about the same. So we just want to demolish them and get them out.
Discussion from, actually, anything from Holly on these? No, probably not.
No, we're talking
No,
Glowacki.
Mr. Chair, we're talking, these were in the 70s is what they're indicating when they were put on the
Yeah,
lot.
that
So
sounds right to me.
Right.
Okay.
Motion to approve both 16A and 16B.
Oh,
Great.
wow. Okay.
Now, we keep going, Val.
Yeah, that felt red hot.
We like you.
Okay, so on that motion, on the motion to approve both items 1 and 2 on new business, on that motion, Diane,
Aye.
thank you. Abby,
Aye.
thank you. Carrie,
Aye.
great. Val,
Aye.
and I'm in favor. That motion carries. So that's the first 2. Very good.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Now we got Brooke. And so Stephen, rotation goes to you. 2 applications on Mill Hill, 11 Mill Hill. Okay,
Yep.
all right, Brooke.
All right. This I think is pretty self-explanatory. There was an original structure that was approved forward on the lot. This is for a second dwelling at the rear of the lot, and there is a separate application for a pool. The lot slopes, and we are generally the building is going to be at the bottom end of the slope. There is a retaining wall on the south side, the south property line, but that belongs to the neighbor to the south. So that's not in this discussion. And there are some photos just of the area. So I guess if Holly can scroll to those, there's some visibility from Dead Horse Valley, maybe of the peak of the building. I think it's all pretty self-explanatory. But if you have questions, please ask.
Well, we haven't yet seen the drawings, right? There they are. Okay. Also, do we have?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, right. Go ahead.
HSAB, no, but there are concerns from abutters, and I believe one of the abutters is in the meeting today.
Oh, okay. So do you know who it is? Can they identify themselves?
Hi, it's Jerry Ferguson.
Oh, hi.
We live at 2 Old Mill Court.
Okay.
I'm not really quite sure how to go about this, but we do have some concerns about the 2-story building and the lot size. It appears that we just moved to the neighborhood. And I'm not sure how y'all work, but we would like to request that the vegetation abutting our property line be continued all the way down to the property line. If you notice on the left, you could put it all the way down to the property line. We also have a question. Most of the lots, based on my research, most of the lots on the in the neighborhood of this size have 1-story dwellings or pool houses, not 2-story dwellings. And so we were concerned about it not being appropriate for the size of the lot with the 2 stories.
Mm-hmm.
Also, there appears to be, I attended a couple or zoomed in on a couple of other meetings, and I'm not an expert on this, but it appears that there's an awful lot of hardscape, particularly on a lot that is sloping, that maybe we have a concern about that for drainage, as well as in your initial proposal or form, you said that the building was going to be built on existing topography. And I was wondering, if you're not going to add fill or anything into the lot, how are you going to make the pool and the 2-story guest house? I mean, wouldn't everything be slanted if you're not going to add anything?
Well, the answer to that question, and I'm just going to jump in here. We just looked at a site section. There will be fill. In fact, if we go, there it is. Okay, thanks, Holly. So the building that we're reviewing right now is on the bottom of this sheet on the left-hand side. You see the hedge kind of sloping down, and now you see this sort of filled in. Oh, Brooke, maybe is that a foundation showing, or is that grade?
So under the building, it is a foundation. And then what's above it, that's the pool area where Holly's cursor is right now.
Right.
So my point about there not being fill is that we aren't cutting and leveling this to put it on the same lot. It's moving down slope, so it's still,
yeah,
it's just, we have to have a level area to put the building, and we have to have a level area to put the pool. So it's just that it's not all been raised up like 6 feet in order to get everything on the same level. And I'd also like to just correct a bit of.
Brooke,
yes,
hang on.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I want to make sure that Mrs. Ferguson has concluded her comments. Are you want to say any more?
I guess not. I'm not really quite sure how this works. So
no, you're allowed to voice your concerns. We listen to them, and then we start talking among ourselves as a board.
Okay. Additionally, I guess, and again, I'm not sure if this really matters. We'd prefer that the air conditioner be moved to the other side of the building instead of abutting our property line. The
You're
other
on
side,
the left, obviously.
Pardon me?
Well, we're looking at the site plan right now. You're obviously on the left-hand side.
Correct.
Yeah. So let me just tell you a little bit about this. So this board, the Historic District Commission, is charged with sort of approving or disapproving things as seen from a public way. Now, I totally understand why you would not want to have the air conditioner on your side, but some neighbor is going to get that air conditioner. So whether, like, if it's appropriate or not for your purposes isn't necessarily in line with our purposes.
Well, the land bank land is on the other side.
Okay, well, fair enough. I'm sure they wouldn't mind. Seriously, you know, so I'm sure Brooke is listening to what you're having to say. Continue, sorry.
Okay, and like I said, I did some research on Woodland Hill. The lot sizes vary from 0.15 acres to 0.28 acres. And the lots that are under, that are 0.19 acres and below have 1-story structures, additional structures, including ourselves. And we have a pool house. And again, we didn't build our house, we bought it. So that was, I just feel that a 2-story structure on a lot that small is a lot of building for, and it's not in keeping with the other structures in the neighborhood. So
Okay.
I guess that's it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Sorry.
Okay, so it's our regular board. Let me just go down the list again. So Abby's on this, Diane is on this, Val, myself, and I think I pulled Carrie. No, actually, we back to you, Stephen? Yes, we are.
Yes, sir.
So Stephen's on this. Who would care to begin?
I
I'll go.
will.
All
Val,
right,
go.
go ahead. Oh,
Go, Val.
Okay. I have some concerns about the height as well, as I'm struggling with this building complementing the main house. The proportions seem rather off to me in terms of height and width and massing, with the deck sticking off the side that way. And it's calling itself a dwelling, I think, to get, the extra height maybe, I don't know, but it's not reading as a dwelling. It really is reading as a pool house. So it's a little bit confusing, but more than anything, I think I'd like to view it with some poles.
good idea. Yeah. Okay, thanks, Val.
I'll
Diane?
go.
Yeah,
Yes, on the south elevation, those windows up in that shed dormer are silly looking. The dormer should be brought in. That's just a box. There's no addition or anything else to it. It's just a box. It seems to be, what, 2210?
22.7. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. The windows on the west elevation, windows on the south elevation, and all of them. The fenestration needs to be more consistent. It needs to be broken down. It looks just like a cardboard box sitting up there, and I think that's inappropriate. They have room. It's a country setting or whatever you want to describe it as, but it is not just a box with no additions or anything. Okay.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Diane. Abby?
Yeah, I feel that the site, as we look on the site plan, is overdeveloped with buildings and hardscaping. I think the second dwelling should be simpler and maybe just a large 1-story instead of trying to max it out here. So those are my feelings. I just feel that we just recently are just really over hardscaping so many of these sites, and I just especially this one where the sloping is so dramatic. It's just, I just don't know where if it's all gonna end up in Dead Horse Valley. I don't know. But Those are my thoughts. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Abby. Stephen?
Sure, Mr. Chair. So I agree with Val's comments. I'd like to see a couple ridge poles. I would like to see a aerial of the old farm, Old Mill Court, little subdivision there. I think that would be helpful. I would also like to see, I think it would be helpful information, the neighboring properties, what the ratio of ground coverage to lot size is. And I don't mean necessarily ground coverage in the sense of the building, the zoning code, which is the square footage of structures. I mean, what's the total coverage? Because I think that that would be informational, certainly looking at the aerial that I'm looking at now. And those would be my comments for now. Thank you, Mr.
All right,
Chair.
can I just get a clarification on what you just requested?
Sure.
When you say ground coverage, are you talking about not just building, but also hardscaping? Is that?
Correct. Yep, that's what I was going at.
Got it. All right, so I'm in agreement. I think this is a, fairly tall, vertical looking building. It would be, for your purposes, Brooke, good to show some height poles or get some height poles up. So I know you're building it down into the grade, but it still seems very vertical to me. So that's it for me. I think the idea of height poles would be good if we could wrap that into the motion somehow.
So a motion to hold for height poles with a view and additional information with respect to our ground coverage and an aerial view.
Okay, sounds good. Thank
Clarification?
you. Yes.
Yep.
By ground coverage, Stephen, are you asking me to find the ground cover of every single other lot that has construction on it?
I think that he's looking for sort of like the amount of hardscape plus building that's going on the surrounding lots.
Yeah,
so not ground coverage in the zoning section.
Right, I get that, but everybody else is.
I think, Mr. Chair, if I may, just for the purposes of clarification, yes, Brooke, but I'm not looking for engineer precision or accuracy. I think if you were to take the aerial and just block this out in your CAD to show, generally what the ground coverage is, and probably it would be easier just to use the aerial and block out where it isn't ground coverage on each of the lots and then just pull the property size. I think it would be very helpful information in kind of articulating what's going on in that area.
Okay, thank you.
Got it? Okay. All right, so that is the motion. On Stephen's motion, Val.
Aye.
Diane.
Aye.
Abby.
Aye.
Stephen.
Aye.
And I'm in favor. Motion carries. So we want to look at the hardscape move off.
You can go over that. I mean, I think we've got other issues.
You mean hold that to track?
Yeah.
Okay, so can I have a motion to hold the pool and hardscape to track the guest house?
So
moved.
moved. Oh,
All
Diane
right,
had it.
I'll take Diane's. On Diane's motion, Abby.
Aye.
Val.
Aye.
Stephen.
Aye.
Diane.
Aye.
Thank you, Ray. Aye. Okay, that motion carries. So that's it for you, Brooke. And now,
Thank you.
thank you. I think maybe Lisa is on board.
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, so Diane, can I recuse from this and have you chair?
Yep.
Thank you. I'll mute.
Hi, everybody.
Hi. Hi.
Happy snowstorm.
Yeah.
So we're looking at Gully Road, right?
Yes. This is a existing building that, according to the aerial photos, looks like it was built sometime between 95 and 98. That is down on Gully Road that we wanted to have approval to demolish. I believe it's just a shed. I'm not even sure if it has stuff in it. Let's see.
Madam Chair?
Yes. Yes.
So actually, I have some information on this structure. It's actually a lot older than most people think. Thankful to my friends at MPT, they did provide a little bit of information for the packet. This structure was actually called the Garden House.
Right.
It was originally part of the property of Mizentop. Mizentop was constructed in the 1790s. And there is an HDC survey for this structure. It was located at 11 Front Street, and it was built around 1881. And it was the mizzen top boathouse. And it was probably, just by assumption of the history out there, that it was probably built by Joseph Mitchell, who purchased mizzen top in 1865. And then as recently as 1991, there's a copy, a PDF from the Inquirer and Mirror about when the structure was moved from Front Street to its present location by the, who was that? The Greens, the Wade cottages. And that's when it had some work done contemporarily. So this structure actually is a lot older than one would assume. We have received comments from somebody out in Sconset that have concerns on this structure having a lot more history than what is being proposed. You know, from a Sconset advisory standpoint, they have not reviewed this application. However, as staff, I did. We can't really lose structures to this nature. A move only would be more appropriate. As this structure has already moved once, there is precedent in that regards, but demolition should not be done. Thank you.
Right. I believe, going back in my history when first on the HDC, that the Greens had a house down on Gully Road, and it's gone. It's gone because the beach took it, and then the cottage. Back then, we did know that it was an old building. So I think we should look at it in that respect and not in the respect of demoing it. So Lisa, do you want to continue, or is that interesting and you'll go with what the...
Yeah, I mean, I think I should continue. We based our research on the aerial photos, and it didn't show up in any of the aerial photos, so I had no idea it had been moved there. So I think what I need to do is, well, unless you want to, if you want to approve it as a move off, and then we can see if that works. There might be another lot, or maybe we'll come back and move it within the lot, but.
Right, a move off only, we would sort of think of considering.
Well, yeah, if that's the pleasure of the board.
Yeah.
Obviously,
who would like to start or make a motion or whatever?
I think a view is important. I'm sorry I didn't get out to this building, and I had no idea that, so what is before us, a demo move off?
Yes, that's what has been applied for.
Yeah, I think given the history that just developed, don't you think we have to go out and give it extra consideration?
I think so. And I think the age of it is certainly to be considered. Carrie, are you on this?
I'm here. I agree for a view, and maybe it can be used on the site.
Right, that would be good. Abby, or no, Val?
I agree.
All right, and so that's 1, 2, 3. Steve?
I disagree.
What?
I think it's been moved already onto the site, and if the applicant is going to accept that it would be moved on the site and not demoed, I'm happy to approve that. I think it's both appropriate.
I see what.
And then the other thing is, just for our own information, I would like to get a copy of the historic information, because I understand it was a dynamic thing, but I would like to get a copy of that for our review.
I'd appreciate it as well.
Okay.
Yeah, we should get a copy.
Get it to the applicants.
Going with application.
So
Do
just
I have somebody to make a motion?
Madam Chair, just to finish my thoughts, if I may ask, if I may ask for you, while we're still discussing the motion, because it's relevant to the vote, I have no idea whether it's practical or if the applicant can answer now, the agent, could it be moved on the site? Because it might change the motion.
I'd have to talk to them about it. I think the initial intention was not to put anything on this site for a while.
Okay.
So, there's no plans for a new structure or a house being put here. So I'd need to talk to the applicant, my client about this.
Got you. Thank you. So Madam Chair, I'm okay with the motion.
Okay, so the motion is to hold for review and further information on the age of the house. And it is for a move, no demo. So, let's see.
No, hold.
I thought it was for a site visit.
Yeah.
I said
a view and more historic information. That's my motion.
Yeah. That's
Aye.
what I said.
Oh,
Okay,
I
thank you.
misunderstood you. I'm sorry, Diane.
Steve, aye. Carrie,
Aye.
Val,
Aye.
Steve is an aye, and I am an aye. So that is the full aye.
Thank you. See you Tuesday.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay. I think I'm unmuted. There I am. Okay, good. Thanks. Let's see. We're going to go to 66 Hulbert Ave.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
this application is going to be resubmitted. So,
You mean it's pulled?
yes.
Oh,
Okay.
motion to hold.
Well,
For
we don't even need
representation.
to- we just don't take any action on it.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Something else on it. Okay. So next up, 46 Surfside, Chip. I think I saw Chip. Okay, so let's see, rotation. Stephen, you were on the last.
Carries up.
Carries up, yep.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Cool. So shall I jump into it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Chip, Carrie, you have regular board plus Carrie, okay?
Yeah, so quick little history on this. Interestingly, I don't know if you recall it, this was a property that I owned that I was going to move my office and home to. It's a mixed use property. It's immediate, I shouldn't say immediately, it's 2 doors down from the Muse. Eric Johnson purchased the property from me, and I gave, along with the plans, and he is basically building substantially what I had already designed and approved for the lot. As you can see, the structure, which is right there, that's what was originally approved. It sits very far back on the lot. The parking is in the front. The proposed changes that he would like to make are pretty minor, and in many cases, there is swapping out a door or window or whatever. So there's no substantive revisions. I kind of think they speak for themselves. On the front, he is proposing to put on a shed porch and remove the detailing that I had on the surround around the door and windows. That's what's facing the street. On the north elevation, which is substantively blocked by the adjoining property, in addition to that porch, you can see on the back, he's looking to swap a pair of French doors for a single door, and then change the railing a little bit on a integrated second floor deck. It looks like an add a gutter. And if we scroll down a little bit, we can see on the back, it's basically swapping out, which is directly in the back of the building. It looks like a pair of French doors. We had a 4-panel door approved, and he's looking to change that to a pair of doors with flanking windows. And then on the south side, again, it's pretty self-explanatory. There was some fenestration proposed changes. There we have it.
Can I ask you a simple question, Chip?
Yeah.
So the 4 French doors and also the door that you had on the front were like 6 lights to sort of replicate the 2/2 windows in proportion. And I noticed on the new French doors that you're going with something like more like a 10 light. Is there a reason for that, or is that just?
Yeah. The reason for that is Eric has that unit. I
Okay,
think everyone knows Eric Johnson. You know, he took over Steve Lindsay's. He's a builder on the island, and he's trying to utilize some things
okay.
that he has left over.
He's
Some other parts.
recycling those doors.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's not a drafting error. Okay.
That's
Just-
correct.
Just wanted to know. Okay. I don't believe there's any HSAB on this one, so I'll go right to the board. Who would care to begin on these changes?
I will.
Great, thank you.
Chip, the building that's going up now, that's all steel. Is that a building that's in front of this?
Now let's go back to the site plan for a second, please.
Because that is
Okay,
right
so
off-
so the building that is going up now is basically, if you look to the right of this drawing, you see that dotted line that's all the way to the right. Go down some.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay, that was the parking lot for that existing sort of bungalow that's shown on this drawing. And that building with the still, which is immediately adjacent to the Muse, is going in the, what was the old parking lot area. So it's on the opposite, no, not that part, go to the, yeah, see that little, go more right there, right there. That's the back corner of that building that's you're referencing.
Okay, all right. I think in terms of door and windows, I'm okay. I like having a porch on the front because it's so vertical, but it looks to me, and it might just be the drawings, that a knee wall change has been on the second floor. It seems like it's higher.
Let's go back to that. Are you looking at, there's a integrated walkout deck on the rear?
No, I'm
Okay.
talking about if I'm looking at the front proposed versus the front. There seems to be more shingle courses above the windows, but the height isn't changing. So I wanted to know.
I see. I see.
Yeah, I don't believe that there are any proposed changes whatsoever to the massing. So I see what you're saying. And I don't know. I believe, if the height is, I'm not aware of any proposed changes he's making there, and we put together these drawings. So it's possible that there's just a drafting discrepancy on that or something.
Okay. That's
it.
That was it, Val?
Yeah.
Diane, go ahead.
Val, I think you're right. Look at that north drawing and that new stuff. See the difference?
Yeah,
between
more shingles above the windows.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I see what you're talking about. I didn't see that on the front elevation. Yes, that looks like that is something that he is proposing.
But what is it?
What is it?
The pitch is the same. The height claims it's the same.
I think what it is he, those windows are lower by a shingle course or so. Let me double check this. Yeah. So what we had when this was going to be my building is we had a header system that was integrated into like the roof system. And I think what he is proposing is more of a standard header over those windows, which brings them down a little bit.
So then it would typically we'd have a freeze there or something, or lower the eave height.
But the funny thing about it is he's added a freeze. So, if you compare it with the trim on the one up above, the previous, you looked at, there's more buildup. The windows have dropped like very substantially. I'm going to say like a foot. But also interesting is the fact that it doesn't appear that there's a difference. You would think that in dropping the second floor windows by a foot, that it would decrease the distance between the second floor windows and the first floor windows.
Yeah, it looks like the first ones are dropped too.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it does.
Well, they line up with the door.
Not as well as they lined up with the door before. Go to the north elevation now and then. They were straight across in the old one. And in this one, the door is lower than the windows by just a little bit, but it is lower.
Can we get
Doors are
clarity?
taller in the old one too.
So, Chip.
Yes.
I think that there's some stuff on here that's not bubbled that probably should be bubbled. You know, like the whole front elevation should be bubbled because you're dropping all the windows, it would seem, on both the first and the second floor. Can we get clarification on all that? Because honestly, now that it's been brought to my attention, I prefer the previous in terms of the window locations.
Yeah, I'm happy to
Right.
get with Eric and get clarification on that.
Okay, that would be good. Does anybody
And
have anything else to say?
can I get the,
Go ahead,
yeah,
Diane.
I do too. I do. On the east elevation,
East, yep. We need to scroll down, I think. Yeah, there we go.
okay,
Yep.
that fat window. Oh, no, it's the south elevation, sorry. The fat window, that's a double window, mulled window. The
Yeah.
2/2s are a completely different size than the other ones. And they're a different pane size as the ones up in the shed. I'd like to see some consistency in the size of the windows or the panes than having the panes up on the shed and then those mold windows and then the regular windows. And this has dropped around too, so I guess we need to have a whole thing showing why.
Yeah.
That's
So it would seem. Okay, so should we just motion for some clarifications on this one? Stephen, we
right.
haven't heard from you yet. Do you want to say anything on this? Oh, I'm sorry, it was
I
Carrie.
think Carrie's on this.
Carrie, yeah.
No, I'm in agreement with everybody. I think the doors on the original one look taller than the proposed. So I think that's where the discrepancy, I think everything just shifted down. If the height of the building is noted on one of the elevations, but it hasn't changed, then I don't really have a problem with any of it. I think the only elevation that we're going to really see is the front elevation. And I think it's a good looking building.
Yeah, I agree with that. Good point. So we holding for more information or what are we doing with this?
I would approve it.
I would just say we could probably approve it, but to have correct information on what's actually changing from the previous
Okay.
through staff.
All right. That sounds fair. Does somebody want to make a motion?
That's my motion.
Oh, okay. So we just need corrected drawings, Chip. That's going to be through staff. That's the motion. On that motion, let's see. It was Val's motion. Diane?
Aye.
Okay. Abby?
Aye.
Thank you. Carrie?
Aye.
Val?
Aye.
I'm in favor, motion carries. So that's approved, but just with some corrected information into the staff. Thank you.
Great, thank you, everyone.
Oh, thanks. We have route time for one more. We have a hard stop at 2:30. Let's try 19 Broadway, see if we can knock that off before we go. So it's now to you, Stephen. Add lattice to AC units. Josh Morash, do we have somebody to represent?
I'm here.
Okay.
So we submitted this application to disguise a few appliances on the exterior of the building. There's an outdoor boiler or on-demand water heater. There are some propane tanks in the back. And
Oh, this
there's,
is an as-built.
yeah.
Got it. Got it. Mm-hmm.
So I guess the question begs, is there something that stands out with what we currently have here?
Okay, so we're looking at this one thing. Were there more than one enclosure? Was there more than one enclosure?
Mr. Chair, if I may,
Yeah,
this
go
was a previously approved AC unit, and what happened was they installed their air conditioning unit. It was higher than what was previously approved, so they added a higher lattice, and then they also added this in, and it wasn't, sorry, it wasn't, no, sorry, that is the same one. The back was
Right.
This in addition.
So there's actually 3 things that are being covered here.
Yes.
Right? There's 3 of these around the perimeter of the building.
Yeah. So this was much lower what that was approved, and so they.
Right.
I'll go, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, go ahead, Stephen.
Can we stay on the east image? I think if you throw a little weather on these, like across the street at 19, where there's a lattice that's weathered, this is going to be fine. And frankly, given the net gain in terms of attractiveness, hiding the other utilities, I think it's approvable personally. And just on, well, go back up a little bit. Oh, where you going? I'm actually, frankly, a little more concerned about those fancy windows across the street on 19.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty nasty. Yeah, those Andersons, those are Andersons.
I hope that's not yours, Josh.
Thanks.
Not mine.
Let's see, Abby?
I'm okay with it.
Okay, Diane?
I think if it's left to weather naturally, it'll probably fit in okay.
Yeah, I agree with that. Val?
I actually appreciate covering over the gas lines or whatever they are. They're, just hanging out there in the way. So I'm okay with it.
Okay, sounds like we have liftoff. Can I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
All right, so Val has made a motion to approve as submitted. On that motion, Diane?
Aye.
Thank you, Abby.
Aye.
Stephen?
Aye.
And Val?
Aye.
And I'm in favor. Motion carries. Okay. Wow. So we have 3 minutes left, but let's see. Do we need to do any other sort of housekeeping stuff before we adjourn?
I think it's that thing that Val brought up before about seeing something before, after the demo. I think it's really important to make
Okay, just
time to discuss that.
I think we have 4 minutes left. Let me just make sure. And then they're going to shut us down. Yeah, we have 4 minutes left.
Can I ask Abby, if you don't mind to interject? There's a couple of things on our agenda that have been around for a while. I know we've been terribly busy, and the one Abby brought up is one of them, but I'm just wondering if we've got an organizational scheduled at some point in the near future.
I've been asking that too.
Well, that's a great idea, but we were all sort of kneecapped when we heard that we missed one meeting out of each of the next 3 months. We just did the first one. And
Yeah, you have my full support on that, Mr. Chairman. I'm just trying to, instead of trying to wrap a quick discussion into 3 minutes, I'm wondering
if I may, if you would like to schedule a meeting, Fridays are usually open, so this is something to think about. All right.
like to and need to, or
yeah, actually, that's not a bad idea, because I was going to say we have to wait for a month that has 6 weeks in it.
I'm good on Fridays if anybody wants to do it any Friday.
Why don't we try and do that? Organize a Friday meeting coming up soon that can be our organizational meeting.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So toss some times around. I mean, some dates, and then we can all weigh in on what works, what doesn't work.
I will rally the troops.
Yeah. Thanks, Kathy. Okay, so should we adjourn?
Yeah, motion to adjourn.
Okay, Abby's made a motion to adjourn. On that motion, Diane?
Aye.
Val?
Aye.
Abby?
Aye.
Carrie?
Aye.
I'm in favor. Motion carries. Thanks, everyone.
Take care, everybody.
Nice weekend. Bye-bye.